Hi, guys. My name is Adam Peterson. Our training today is going to be on driving your back to school events and owning your mile. Can everyone hear me okay? And can you see my screen?
You're good.
All right. So let's go ahead and hop into it. And again, if you're not on mute, please mute your phones, or if Robert or someone can kind of see if there's mics going off, if you can mute them for me, and then we can open up at the end for questions.
I got
Guys,
you,
first,
Adam.
before we get started, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, so let me just, before we get started, just a quick reminder of the July priorities, right? So we want to make sure every week you guys stay focused on these. So yes, we're going to be talking about back to school stuff today, but we want to make sure that you are very clear on what we need to keep improving on and keep driving. So number one is your payment plans and add-a-lines. When you guys look at your conversion rate, if your conversion rate is a little bit low or a little bit dipped, focus on those add-a-lines to help drive that number up. The second one on top of the pyramid here, which honestly I would say has been my number one focus and is your number one opportunity, is the EBBP, which is going to be what this call today is really focused around. And man, we've had some doors absolutely killing it. The numbers that have been out there. If you're not on board, get on board. If you're already on board, then we're going to show you how to take it to that next level. Also, the network upgrade, SDDN, still a huge focus for us. We now have, 5 months left until the old network shut down. Keep pumping out those SDDN upgrades. Now, I know we've heard the rumors that came out, or not rumors, the news that came out last week, that we will also be with AT&T's network. This does not change what we're doing from our SDDN perspective. So it's still kind of too new to give more details on it. From what I've heard so far, don't hold me to this, but we're going to have both networks available. But what I definitely have officially heard is this focus is not changing. Keep driving your SDDN upgrades because that old Boost network is still going to be shut off on January 1st. So we've only 5 months left. I wouldn't even give customers options at this point. If they come into your store and they're eligible, flip them to the new network. If they need a new device and they're eligible for an upgrade, upgrade them and tell them, hey, look, your phone's not going to work in 5 months. We got to get you on our new network right now. And then, of course, our value-added services and bring your own devices, bundle protection with every sale, and keep focused on the BYOD phones for you guys as well. We have a couple pre-owns at DCI you guys can order, so make sure you guys are taking care of those opportunities. Next housekeeping note. Make sure everyone on this call, you clean up your inventory in Elevate and you are putting every sale through Elevate. There was a note that came out, I believe it was back on July 9th, that this is gonna change kind of the world of how stores get devices. Is you have to have your devices in Elevate. If you have like say 300 devices is showing in Elevate, but you don't sell them, you just usually take payments. It's going to show 300 phones, which means DCI is going to get less phones, which means you're going to get less phones. And this also could affect. Oh, I'm getting an echo there. Someone might need to turn on mute. This also could affect future comp. So clean up your Elevate and put every sale through Elevate. So this is a housekeeping note. If your Elevate inventory counts are not accurate today, please, I'm begging you, do an inventory count, get rid of the old inventory, and update it only to what's in stock. If you're not sure how to do that, there was an email sent out, but I am going to cover that on next Monday's call at noon. So we'll go over that in detail, but just wanted to touch on it now so you guys can kind of get ahead of the game there. Make sure you're all good to go. All right, so let's jump into our huge opportunity. So back to school events. Now, there's a sense of urgency around this. I would love for you guys, after this call, to start making calls to your local school districts. Why? Because we're already in July. Registrations are coming up right around the corner. So we need to act now. If you want to make the most money for your store, you want to get the most devices out of your store, I need you to take this information and act on it immediately. Don't sit on it. I mean, if you need to have a team meeting tonight, work on it tomorrow, that's great. But I would say by Wednesday at the latest, you have done your due diligence to reach out to your school districts. So let's get into the minutia. How do we drive these back to school events? Well, we know 2020 was a really tough year, right? We had the global pandemic. There was no options for anyone to get vaccinated. I'm not going to go in the political side of it, but it wasn't even available, right? And some kids had to go to school for the second year in a row. I know my daughter had to go to school for the second year. We even wanted her to go back for the second half of last year. They didn't have enough spaces at her school. She had no option. They said, sorry, you missed it. Like the sign up was at 8 a.m. We signed up at 7:45 and said parents said at midnight, she can't go back to school. It was a tough year, right? States were shut down. There was no outside events. Now, as Boost dealers, we are historically very strong at outside events. We used to do outside events at least twice a month, minimum. In the summer, if not more, right? We would drive these outside events very hard. And we didn't do it last year. But now things are a little bit better. The time's changing. Vaccinations are available. I know I'm vaccinated. My daughter is vaccinated. It's up to your personal choice, but I recommend you get vaccinated. Just put that out there. But states are opening back up. The crowds are returning in full for sporting events. Like you can go to, White are full crowds, Cubs games, full crowds. We didn't have that last year. And the big thing for this call, schools are returning to full in-class participation. What does that mean for you guys? You can get back to hosting events and making that serious cash money. So with things opening back up, hopefully it stays that way. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but for now, with things opening back up, is our time. We can take advantage of this and get in front of as many people as possible and make as much money as possible by helping our communities. So to maximize your BTS, which is not the BTS meal from McDonald's, that's back to school opportunities. This is what I want you guys to do. All right. Step one, I want you to Google schools 1 to 5 miles from your store. Now, if you have a worker or if you are a manager or owner on this call and you went to, you have a relationship with any of your favorite teachers that are still there or the school district, call them. If not, just go ahead and call the school, and I'll give you the pitch here in just a second. But Google schools within 1 to 5 miles of your store. This is an own the mile training, so optimally, if you have a school within 1 mile, that's great, but maybe you're in a more rural area. Maybe it's 2, 3, 4, 5 miles away. Not a big deal. Google all those schools, and don't just focus on necessarily one. Look at your elementary schools, your junior high schools, and your high school opportunities. You're going to want to introduce yourself to the district and ask if they have a community engagement department. That is who's going to give you the green light to get into those doors. All right. And again, I'll go over my pitch for you on the next slide. So when you have these events, remember, we have a huge advantage now, right? When the EBB first came out, what I was told is it has to be done on the tablet with Quest, and that's geofenced. Well, we now have the workaround, which we know is paid. Boost has confirmed, yes, dealers get paid. DCI, we've followed the money, and yes, dealers are paid by using the workaround option. So you really don't have to do that. You can do step one on NatVer, which I've done it when I'm at stores. I can do it right from my phone. If they have one register and I'm at the store, I'll pull it up on my phone and go through it. You can do it on a phone. A tablet is great for these in-person opportunities. So if you have a tablet, don't get rid of it. Don't sell it. Still use it. But do the internet options. It's so much quicker and easier. You can do NatVer on your internet, and then the Boost site on the internet, which the links are in this in this deck. I've sent these to all your DCI account managers. If you want a copy of the deck, just text them to send it to you. They can forward it right over to you. But that NatVer site, step one. Step two is the Boost site, step two. And step three is the activation, which, yes, that has to be done in store. But if I'm on site at a school, I can simply call my store up, give them the information, because I've already done NatVer. I've already done the Boost site, which means I have that promo code. So I'm literally calling my store, giving them the promo code, reading off the ESN of the device I'm giving to the customer, and have them walk through that activation. And boom, within 10 minutes, that customer is leaving with a hotspot with service for an entire year, right? So this is way easier than it used to be. And I've been to some stores, as I continue to kind of get my locations up and get my locations trained. And, at first we didn't train this way. And some doors like, oh, well, I just remember the old way. And so I'm kind of confused. And this is so much easier. This is so much quicker. So if you got that first way with the Quest app, you can work around that now. This makes it super quick, super speedy for you guys to do. And you can really host events. So with schools going back to school in person, you can give those families peace of mind that they can take that hotspot anywhere they go and have internet. What I also want you guys to do is to see if you can set up a tenor booth on their orientation day to promote free internet for a year to their students. Let's get another pitch. And I work with Sochi staffers. I want to give her some credit. This is my boost rep in Central Illinois. All right. So here's kind of a pitch, and you guys can tweak this and make it your own. So sorry for reading through this slide, but this is a great pitch for a phone call. Hi, my name is, so in her case, it was Sochi staffer. We'll say, my name's Adam Peterson, so I'll use my name. Hi, my name is Adam Peterson. I work at the locally owned Boost mobile store by your school. And I put a note here, say the name of your school you're calling. So I grew up in a town called Normal, Illinois. So for me, it would be, hi, my name is Adam Peterson. I work at the locally owned Boost store by your school, NCHS. I'm calling because we have a unique opportunity to work with your district. We're looking to partner with you guys and offer free mobile broadband to qualifying families from the government through the COVID relief package. Now, I should probably have underlined that line in my presentation because I think that is a key selling point. We're looking to partner with your district by offering free mobile broadband to qualifying families from the government through the COVID relief package. We would love to come in and speak with you in person, and if possible, attend your in-person orientation and registration to help meet their needs of parents and students. All right. So what are we doing here at the start of this pitch? We're letting them know we want to come in, have a meeting in person, because that's going to be the most effective. I mean, if you can do it over the phone, that's great. But for something like this, you're probably going to need to make a call and then set up a time. So you're going to make your call. You're going to tell them what you can do. Tell them it's a government relief COVID package for free internet for their students. And we want to come in and see if you can attend their orientation day. So the pitch will continue. What we want to provide to your students is a hotspot with a year of free service. It gives them 35 gigs of high-speed data every month and costs them nothing provided they qualify. Now, what I recommend, if you guys are doing these events for schools, and the reason I put, and you can tweak this, right? Because this is just a suggestion, 35 gigs of data every month and costs them nothing provided they qualify, is if you're going into a school, you tell them we're waiving. Normally there's a fee for this device. We're going to waive it. So they don't have to pay anything for that hotspot. So yes, the hotspots cost 25 bucks. But even if you waive that, your store will be profitable. So I recommend if you're doing an in-store event, because of the volume you'll get, waive that $25 because your store is going to be very profitable without it. If you disagree with me, you're right. You can sell it for 25 for sure, but I want to get in that door, so I'm going to waive that fee. We can to close out my pitch, we can qualify the customers on site if we're in your school. Currently, if families receive benefits of food, clothing, or shelter, such as a SNAP program or free lunches for students, they'd be eligible for this year of free hotspot. Does Tuesday or Wednesday at 1 p.m. work for you? So you're seeing my close there, my last line. That's kind of just a typical sales technique, right? Instead of saying what time works better for you and getting blown off, I give two options because it's just a selling mentality. If you give two options to somebody, they're more likely to pick one. So if I say, does Tuesday or Wednesday at 1 p.m. work better for you? They're more likely to get a yes or no. And if they say, oh, how about, noon or 3? Okay, I can adjust. But if you give that pitch and say, what time works for you? You're more likely to get blown off. This is more direct, more to the point, two options. It's human nature. They're going to pick one. All right, so this is an easy pitch. Again, this is in the deck. You can look at it, you can read it, you can tweak it, but this is to help get you in the door to those school districts. Again, the key here is you guys need to get on this right away because these orientation days are going to be happening 2 to 3 weeks from now. So if you wait and you blow it off till next week, you could miss your opportunity. And think of how many students go to a school. If you got 1,000 students and say you get 10% of them, that's 100 activations right there, right? So this is a huge, huge opportunity for you guys to crush. All right, so let me just pause right here. Are there any questions so far to the pitch and to getting into your school districts? All right. I shall continue. So if your schools say no, No worries. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged, right? This is about owning your mile. If they say no, all right, cool. I did my best. I tried, overcome an objection. So let's just say this. So let's say they say no. You want to overcome that objective. Well, before you say no, I just want to let you know this can really help for any after school activities. If you guys are doing after school stuff and maybe you need Wi-Fi or your kids needs Wi-Fi, or who knows how the next year is going to go. Yes, everything's open back up right now, but there are those kind of strains out there that variants of COVID that could affect the school year. At least this gives them an extra 35 gigs of internet. So it can help out after school school closings. It can help out, if anything happens where students go back to having to go home for learning. It's just a benefit on all levels. And again, this isn't cost them nothing. It's a government-funded program. Why not offer it to them? So you have that kind of pitch to overcome an objective and use that. Don't just take the first no for an answer. Never take no for an answer in sales. Overcome it every time. The best sales reps, I see them overcome 7 objections. I see a guy coming into a store for headphones. Oh no, I can get it cheaper at a gas station. No, boss, come back in here. Come back in here. He's like, you want headphones right now, right? You don't want crappy gas station headphones. I get you a good brand. I'll tell you what, I'll take an extra $10 off, right? You don't take no for an answer. You overcome your objections and you close. Okay, now, if we can't overcome that objection, again, no big deal. It's summertime. You guys should be out having events. We used to do this. I mean, this was par for the course, right? 2 events every single month in the summertime, during the holidays. Get outside your doors, have your events. You right now have a huge opportunity to push EBB. I have my doors personally. We just saw our numbers this morning. I have a lot of doors, and they're averaging 8 mobile broadbands per day. I believe was the number I saw. 8 per day from my door list. So if you're not doing 1 per day minimum, you're not doing it right. Okay, 1 per day is the minimum goal. I would set really 2 per day should be your minimum goal. How can you crush that goal? Get outside of your 4 walls and have at least 2 events for your door every single month minimum. I was talking to, I think it was Sam with DCI the other day, and he was talking about, what about a flea market? Well, a flea market, you can get a parking spot for like $35 or $70, and we can get out there and we could put a tent up. And I'm like, that is a fantastic idea. If you got a flea market in your town, you can get out there, put a tent up, because again, you don't need to be in store necessarily to activate. You can run step 1 through NetVer, step 2 through the booth site, then just call in your store to activate. You can crush this number. I was driving in Peoria, Illinois the other day, and I was just driving by. It was like a beauty supply store, and there was a tent up that said free phones, free internet. I'm like, what's that? It wasn't Boost, right? So I'm like, let me just pull in and go in there as a customer. I'm like, what are they doing? Because they had a huge line out there. It was like, it wasn't even a cell phone store. It was a beauty supply store. And it was someone who was pitching Metro's version. I'm like, what network is this? I'm like, oh, it's Metro. I'm like, okay, what do you get? And it wasn't as good as what we got with Boost. It was less internet speeds, all that. But they had the iPhone with them, like a used iPhone, because again, you just pay the price of the phone. And they had a tablet, or they had the hotspot with them. Which one do you want? The phone or the tablet? Boom, show me them both, right in my face. And it says free. I'm like, you know what? I got to come back. I'm busy. But that's that hustler mentality that you guys should have on this call to really drive those sales. So get outside of your walls, have those tests, whether it's a flea market, whether it's going to your busiest gas station. What gas station gets the most traffic in your store? Go to that gas station. Hey, do you mind if I set up a 10 here for a day to help push this government program to give free broadband to your customers? No, probably they're going to say yes. Let's say they say no. Well, can I rent a space? Can I give you $100 to rent a space for a few hours? They're probably going to say yes to that, right? So get out there and have events now. Do not wait on it. If you're not doing it already, you're missing the boat. We all the stores have the free, or majority of stores, I shouldn't say all, majority of stores have the free internet banners you can take with you to your event. I think we're going to look at trying to order some more at DCI, kind of for events, maybe give a few to each account manager. That's still kind of in the works. But all the branded stores should have banners. If you're a multi-carrier on this call, you probably don't have one, but we can try to get you one. Just let your account manager know, and we'll try to help you out. But get out there and have those events right now, because there's so many sales available. People are outside. People are shopping. but it's up to you on how aggressive you want to be in your stores. Staffing wise, if you're a store with one person that needs more help staffing, DCI is getting in now hiring banners. So if you need extra staffing to help you drive these kind of events, you can reach out to your DCI account manager, and we get you a banner for that help with hiring. But we want to make sure you guys are taking advantage of this for sure. Now, the next slide here is a reminder. I'm talking all mobile broadband, right? I briefly mentioned the handset plan, but when this first launched, we were telling you guys, hey, push mobile broadband only, right? That was the message from Boost. That's no longer the message. Is, hey, push whatever works best for your customer. So reminder, we do have that $0 plan for your customers. Don't be shy to sell it. It's the same as what's on our $50 plan. Unlimited talk, text, data, 35 gigs of high-speed data, and then 12 gigs of hotspot on there. Now, you can't add insurance on there, or protection, as I like to call it. Again, a protection on that handset plan because the government only pays that flat 50, but still a great option. So if you're having these events, bring those phones too, like those renewed iPhones. You want a low-price phone? Bring a renewed iPhone. Bring a Weco Ride 3. A Weco Ride 3 is what? $59.99. 32 gigs of memory, a screen over 5 inches, and we have that exclusive DCI contest going on right now, which if you guys have not registered yourselves, please register them. There are some great prizes, including a free vacation, that are up there available for you guys to win. So we get those sales entered. But on the handset plan, you give them like a Weco Ride 3, for example. Less than $100 out the door, because on the handset plan, yes, you do charge a $25 setup fee, whereas on the mobile broadband, you do not. You're still out the door for less than $100, and you have phone service for an entire year. Okay, so just keep in mind those two options are available. Yes, I talk mainly about the mobile broadband, but that handset plan is also a killer. Why do I still focus on mobile broadband first? Well, it's because, I look at our Boost stores as we're specialty stores, right? They come into you specifically looking for a Boost phone. We're not like a Best Buy or a Sam's Club where you have 1,000 products. So you're going to get that phone anyway. But events are a little different. If you're out there doing an event at a flea market, or you're out there at a gas station, it's either or. I might be doing more handsets at that because I don't have my brick and mortar Boost store. I'm just saying free phone, free internet, right? So you might pivot to that other option. And again, the workaround method in here. So if you guys have not seen this yet, the EBB bookmark, the checklifeline.org/lifeline is in this deck. That's for your you do your national verification first. I gave a picture of kind of what that site looks like, so you know you're on the right site. Step 2 is that Boost Mobile site. You can't get that just from going to boostmobile.com and scrolling down to learn more about EBB, but I did include the link to kind of get you past that, right to where you log in to the physical location is in here as well. You check on your eligibility, enter your zip code, and go ahead and get cranking there. Now, the big thing, once you're qualified on that Boost Mobile site, and if you're looking at a slide and it says 5, 6, 7, 8, you're like, well, you just gave me 1 and 2, where's 3 and 4? Don't worry about the numbers here. This is just how I could copy and paste that slide. The thing I want you to see is once you're done with the Boost Mobile site, you go back in, you won't have your promo code unless you click on service activation, which is at the very top. So again, you've done that there. It says qualified. You do your Boost site. It says qualified pending. You need to scroll to the top and click on service activation. It's got a little power symbol box. It's a circle with a line for the top. You click on that, and then you scroll down, and that's where you get your promo code. Again, this can all be done online from a phone or tablet. Once you have that promo code, you then call the store in, your store who's doing the activation for you, give them that promo code. They do their activation as normal. When it gets to the screen where it says select a plan, that's where you enter in your promo code and apply it, and then that $0 plan will show up for you. Lastly, you want to go into that same Boost Mobile screen, enter in the phone number that was assigned, and click the 2 boxes, click submit. All right, couple minutes left. So if you guys are doing tent events, I don't know if this is going to be so much for school events, but tent events, utilize Smile and Dial. You have a huge list of existing customers. So tell them when and where you're going to be. So, hey, for 2 days only, On Friday and Saturday from 4 to 6, we're going to be giving free hotspots. Again, if you want to make an event, make it special, right? Eat that $25. If you don't want to, no problem. You can say we're still going to be giving free internet for a year, only $25 for the device. But my recommendation is, spend a little money to make a little money. Eat that hotspot money. Say we're going to give free internet for a year, albeit this time from A to Z, or call them into your store. If you can't do an event, you don't have the manpower, you can't get out, you reach out to schools, you can't get that traffic back to your door, no problem. Call your customers on your Smile and Dial list and drive them into your store. Hey, guess what? Friday, Saturday, we're going to have an event in store where we're going to be giving you free hotspots. All day Friday, all day Saturday, you get internet for a year, you pay nothing, right? You can, if you have a Boost phone, because they're all Boost customers or your customers, you can go from 35 gigs of high-speed data to 70 gigs of high-speed data. So it doesn't matter. School is the best way, right? Second way, do 10 events anywhere. Third way, promote it in your store via Smile and Dial. There's multiple options for you guys to really take advantage of the offer we have right now and drive our summer traffic. I want you to get outside of your four walls. I want you guys to start having events again. There's so much money there on the table. It's just how aggressive do you want to be? The most aggressive dealers are raking in the cash right now. So it's there for you. We don't know how long it's going to be there, but you got a pot of gold in front of you, so be as aggressive as you want to take advantage of it. All right, I got about 3 minutes left for questions. Are there any questions out there? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Again, your DCI account managers have a copy of this deck. They can email you. Just send them a quick text to see if they can send it to you, and they'll forward it over to you guys right now. Thank you for hopping on. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. Again, it'll be about getting your Elevate inventory in stock and making sure everything's cleaned up is going to be very important. Tomas, you have something to say? Oh, just show me your beautiful face and your amazing beard.
Amazing. Once again, Adam.
Thank you, Tomas. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.